Welcome to the High Frontier Management Mode tutorial. So this is the external or outside view of your colony in space. Camera controls here are the same as in design mode. Press the right mouse button and drag to move around. This is in low Earth orbit, so as you can see the Earth is filling most of the sky. Somewhere in the distance is the Moon. Other orbits will have the Earth and Moon shown in their proper size and relative positions. You should notice transport ships coming and going. We also have a statistics palette. This shows the overall stats for the colony, including a number of residents, number of visitors, and so forth. There's an economics tab, but as of version 0.12, this is still empty, so you don't have to worry about that. In the lower right, we have a squawker feed. You can stretch this out as much as you like. You can also collapse it down and quickly pop it back up. This gives you insight into what your colonists are concerned about, or sometimes just random color comments. Then in the bottom left is the Manage palette. Most of the tabs here don't do anything in external mode, but they have functions when we go inside the colony. So let's do that next. We have here on the Context tab Out for an outside view, and In One, this is the internal view. The reason it's called In One is that you may have more than one habitable part in a single space colony, and in that case there would be an In button for each part. Here we have only one, the cylinder, so let's go inside. Now here we are inside the colony. It's not much to look at initially, just a big expanse of grass. Let's talk about camera control first. You can use the arrow keys or WASD keys to move around. The Q and E keys rotate, like this. And the square brackets pitch the camera up and down. So I can look up or I can look straight down. Also, placing the cursor near the edge of the screen will scroll in that direction. This is easier to do in full screen mode, but it works in windowed mode as well. So now that we're here, what can we do? Well, for starters, let's do some landscaping. Switch to the Landscape tab. You have a variety of options here. Let's start by placing some trees. I'll just click Tree, and then click where I want trees to appear. There's several different kinds of trees. You can't control which ones appear, but you can always clear them by using the Clear button. And get rid of any ones you don't like. We can also adjust the water level. Now, since this is a cylinder, the ground is completely flat with respect to the direction of artificial gravity. So if I increase the water level very much, it just floods the whole cylinder. So I'm going to turn the water level back down. You can see it gets sandy when we're close to the water level, but if I want to have any water at all, I need to have a non-zero water depth. But I can always raise the terrain like this using the Raise button. Just click Raise and then you paint on the terrain where you want to lift the ground. And if I want to lower the ground, I can do that and get some nice lakes and ponds. And as you hold the mouse button down, it makes the terrain deeper and also widens it around the mouse. So you can get some interesting contours that way. Again, I'm going to raise around. In fact, the third landscaping tool I haven't demonstrated is Flatten. With Flatten, you click on a place whose elevation you like, and then drag the mouse, and it applies that same elevation elsewhere. And this is a good way to quickly make a lot of ground that's flat, but not at the default elevation. Alright, let's next go to the Path tab. Here's where you'll be able to place footpaths, bike paths, roads, other sorts of transportation systems. But in the current version, our only choice is a footpath. So you just select that button and then click and drag, and you can place a path. And repeating the process, we can make a nice neighborhood of paths however we like. I should demonstrate that if there's a hill or a valley, let's say I make a bigger hill here, then when I place a path, it'll conform to that hill. On the Build tab, you can pretty much ignore this because in the current version, you'll only get any build options here if you have mods that provide buildings. We haven't published any mods yet, and I don't think the third-party mod scene has really gotten started, so you probably aren't going to have anything in the Build tab yet. But in future versions, that's where you'll go to place municipal buildings and that sort of thing. So let's go now to the Zone tab. This is where you assign the residential, commercial, and agricultural zones for your colony. Just click the zone type you want and paint with the mouse. You don't have to stay in the lines. You can easily overwrite one zone type with another, like so. And let's say maybe this section over here is for farming, agricultural. You can also select no zone type, and that is essentially an eraser. It dezones the areas near where you click. These zone types don't have any impact on the simulation yet, but they will very soon. And that's pretty much it for now. We expect in the next couple of releases to have buildings appear in the zones that you define, and paths will impact traffic simulation and much more. So keep watching HighFrontier.com and HighFrontierBlog.com for news as the game develops.